Are reported, but what a scare. More than 24 people were rescued in Wisconsin when a large piece of ice broke free from the shoreline and then floated out into Green Bay. The people on the ice were all fishing when it broke off, and by the time the rescue was over, the sheet of ice had floated about a mile from the shore. Deputies say it remained fairly stable during the rescue, but it was deteriorating quickly and cracking as open water pounded the edges of it. It's a cold one out there this morning, so bundle up and make sure you're ready for some sub-zero temperatures again. We have the Valley Today's JC Dodd joining us live, telling us what you're facing when you head out the door. Good morning, JC.
Good morning, Jordan. It is frigid out here. I am just, trying to stay warm out here. I want you to look at this sign. -9 is what we're reading here in South Fargo at the Bell Bank on University. We were driving around earlier. We saw some double digits in North Fargo, -11, -12. And it is just, the wind is not too bad. It's pretty calm out here, but that air is cold. When you take a breath in, it kind of freezes your lungs a little bit. It's one of those where it takes your breath away. And with this kind of temperatures, it can be dangerous quickly. So when you're heading out today, make sure you're piling on your warmest socks, your biggest mittens, and staying warm all day. Even if you don't plan to be outside for too long, you want to make sure you're prepared because you never know what can happen. Frostbite can set in and very quickly. I've spoken to some health experts, and they've had several calls since the new year with these Arctic temperatures that we've seen over the past 2 weeks. Pins and needles fingering in your fingers. If you feel that, you want to start trying to warm it up, but gradually, not too quickly. So I'm going to go warm up in the car now. Back to you, Jordan.
And I would also like to welcome JC Dodd to the Valley today as our reporter in the morning. JC, how you feeling that on your first morning you have to go out there and talk about this incredibly cold weather?
Jordan, I'm going to be honest. I have been daydreaming about the temperatures that Lisa have been telling us all morning. I just keep thinking, shorts, is it flip-flop season again?
Well, I guess we will find out, depending on how warm or cool you like it. JC Dodd reporting live. Look forward to working with you. And she mentioned that she's already looking forward to the shorts and the flip-flops, and I know that might be a bit overkill. It's just a joke, but there is major improvement, Lisa.
Yeah, it's coming our way, so hang in there. JC, welcome to mornings, and we've got some warmer mornings for you coming up, but not today. Today, of course, we're dealing with the wind chills that are quite low. Wind chill warning that is in effect until noon today for northwestern Minnesota in purple here. In eastern North Dakota and into parts of Lakes Country, we're under a wind chill advisory. Still dealing with some issues with that wind chill, but not as cold or not as brutal as what they're seeing to the north and east. Here's a look outside in Fargo. Pretty quiet. Still looking pretty cold out there too this morning. 17 below our current temperature. It's the same as our wind chill because the wind is super light. We're down to 3 miles per hour. So that doesn't really have an effect on that chilling factor when it's not that strong. We're looking at a west-northwesterly wind though. And in Moorhead, 15 below right now. Up in the Northern Valley, Grand Forks at 15 below and even at 6 miles per hour. So just a few miles per hour more, it does start to impact you, that wind. So we're looking at a wind chill of 29 below. Some places, again, down to 40 below out there in our eastern communities this morning, where temperatures themselves are in the 20s below. So again, it's a cold start. We've got clear skies in a lot of spots. There are a few clouds out to the west. Those will continue to migrate into the valley, and warmer air is going to be coming with that. And in addition to those clouds, a couple of flurries in some spots, but overall, we are looking at a quieter day precipitation-wise. Let's take a look at Grand Forks forecast here. You can see it's a cold start, pretty frigid out there. And by the time we get into the afternoon, we're still below 0 in Grand Forks, but the numbers are going up. And what I'm not showing is what will be happening after that. We're going to see those temperatures either hold even after sunset or start to rise with this south wind that's going to be kicking in. And that's going to be the big difference maker. Remember Friday we started to see that wind kick in. It brought in the warmer air, but it was rushing in way too fast and caused a lot of issues on the roads. I do think we'll see a little bit of drifting with this wind, but it won't be as intense. So we're looking at 20s to maybe 30-mile-per-hour gusts late tonight. So that's something to watch for if you're going to be traveling tonight. But it does bring about these numbers that you see here. We're looking at starting the day tomorrow at 3 above. Not all that warm, but certainly better than where we are now. And I think that's going to be just after midnight. I think our numbers will continue to climb through the morning hours. A high of 29 degrees. That's going to feel like a heat wave, like we're looking at some places getting to that 30-degree mark. And I can't rule out some places reaching that melting point at 32 degrees. And then we keep this around through the work week with our next chance for snow not until Friday. So we also get a breather from the snow too. So a great week ahead. We just have to get through Monday.
That is some good advice there. Just next 24 hours and then smoother sailing, we could say. Lisa, thank you. This cold weather means it's ice dam season, and experts say you should be paying attention in order to prevent damage to your wall ceilings and insulation. Ice dams happen because heat from your house is leaking out of it. It gets into the attic and then melts the underside of the snow on your roof. Then the water flows down the roof until it reaches a cold spot like the eaves or the soffits, and then it will form a frozen dam. Eventually, water will then start seeping into your house. One way to prevent ice dams is by removing the snow from your roof. You can do it with a roof rake. There are also professionals who can do it. The Minnesota Department of Commerce says if you have an ice dam that's already causing water damage to your home, you should hire a professional who will use a steamer to remove it. West Fargo Public Works is resuming its snowplow schedule today. Plows are expected to hit the southwest portion of the city today, and that means no on-street parking. If your car is in the way, it could be ticketed or even towed. New this morning, a garage and several vehicles inside of it are destroyed after a fire in the Southern Valley. The Richland County Sheriff's Office says the homeowner in Wahpeton called for help yesterday afternoon, saying the flames were shooting from his garage. The state fire marshal is now investigating. No word yet on a cause or the damage estimates. The North Dakota Supreme Court says a Minot man should not have been convicted of child abuse for allegedly assaulting a woman in front of a young girl. Brent Castleman was found guilty last year after the jury watched a recording of the assault and then saw the girl crying after she witnessed the attack. Castleman was sentenced to 5 years in prison, but the state Supreme Court now says that the incident doesn't qualify as child abuse under state law because they say prosecutors did not prove there was any lasting effects to the girl's psychological, emotional, or mental health. Police often suggest you park in a secure, well-lit area to deter thieves from stealing your catalytic converter. But that might not be enough anymore. The Fargo man had his stolen last week in his secure garage, and so did other tenants. Replacements can cost $2,000. His mechanic told him that vehicles which are higher off the ground are more often targeted because they're easier to get under. Thieves can get quite a bit of money for selling catalytic converters because of the expensive metals. To prevent these types of thefts, local mechanics are offering to engrave, add a label, or even paint the vehicle information onto the part to deter those thieves. We have breaking news this morning. Tennis star Novak Djokovic is out of detention in Australia after a judge reinstated the athlete's visa, but the government is threatening to cancel it again. His visa was canceled after his arrival for the Australian Open last week because he refused to get the vaccine. His status at the tournament remains unclear. Let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Today's question: the average person will say this 5 times today. The answer to today's question: thank you. And thank you for watching us here on the Valley Today. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. More live news and weather coverage coming up for you on the Fargo CW. Have a happy Monday. Stay warm out there.